Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
Tonight, around Major League Baseball, we celebrate the legacy and the life of the great Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente Day around the major leagues. No better place to celebrate it than right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And Cardinals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Not sure it could get any more exciting than what we saw last night in the ninth inning for the Cardinals. However, they will try to earn the sweep tonight. It's game number 3. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jim Hayes is here. That's the man Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to PNC Park. Game number 3, the Pirates and the Cardinals. The Cardinals offense has been outstanding in this series.
Boy, it really has been, Dan. You know, the home run ball aplenty. They've hit 7 home runs in the first 2 games of this series. They've won 5 straight games here at PNC Park, and the ball club is now 43-13 when they hit 2 home runs in a game.
That's a look at your power stats presented by Kubota. 21 runs scored the last 2 nights, 7 home runs, and a big one there from Matt Carpenter. What a night it was. Carpenter, Grichuk, Peralta, 3 homers in the top of the ninth, and a great comeback for St. Louis. Clemente Day. that was established by Major League Baseball to honor the legacy of the Pirates outfielder. Clemente, an incredible career, an even 3,000 hits, 15-time All-Star and MVP, and a 2-time World Series champion. He died in a plane crash on New Year's Eve 1972 while attempting to deliver supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua. Very special day in baseball. By Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. By Chevrolet, visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Roberto Clemente Day around Major League Baseball. And noted there on the bases as well. Many of those bases will go up for auction and then distributed for charity, the money that's raised. Along with Jim Hayes and Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. 84 degrees here at PNC Park as the Cardinals wrap up a long road trip tonight. We'll be back home tomorrow. Note the start time, 6:15 tomorrow night. Jameson Taillon, the second overall pick in 2010. Behind Bryce Harper, in front of Manny Machado. He's a 24-year-old, lost to the Brewers in his last start. He allowed only 1 run in that start in 6 innings, but the Pirates went on to lose the game 1-0.
Well, we probably would have seen him a few years ago, but he missed the last 2 seasons, 14 and 15, recovering from Tommy John surgery and then a hernia. But he is their future. Clint Hurdle very excited about him. He's 24, but they say he acts like he's been here a long time. 6'4", 240. He's got 2 fastballs, 2-seamer, 4-seamer, and a very good curveball.
First pitch to Carpenter is taken for a ball. It's Carpenter, Piscotty, and Adams, followed by Molina, Moss, and Grichuk, Peralta, Garcia, and Leake. Carpenter, base hit into center field. One of the heroes from last night. Down to his final strike in the home run to tie the game, and then the Cardinals eventually would win it.
Oh, just a ho-hum victory. Not much to it, was it?
You seen anything like it?
Not that I can recall. And closest thing which we can think about, the big game, I think the Cardinals were down by 9 runs in Cincinnati and came back against Danny Graves. Mabry was a hero in that one with a home run, but to do it down pretty dramatic fashion against an outstanding closer in Watson.
Here's Stephen Piscotty. Piscotty hitting .276. Remember, in game 1 of the series, he was hit near the wrist area. Came off the bench, doubled last night. He's popped 20 home runs and driven in 75.
And we saw him come off the bench with a double out to left center, so we think he is healthy.
Here's the 0-1. Inside. Cardinals have homered in 25 consecutive games, which ties them for the National League mark all time with the 98 Atlanta Braves. And this season, the Padres hit home runs in 25 straight.
Major League record is 27 by Texas.
That was set back in 2002. So with the loss last night, on the flip side, the Pirates start 5.5 behind St. Louis.
And those Mets, who won today in Cincinnati, they're nipping at the heels of the Cardinals.
Currently just a game back. Breaking ball and a strike. So if the Cardinals would drop this game, they would be tied with New York. However, if the Cardinals win, San Francisco would lose. The Cardinals would be in the top spot in the wild card.
It's going to be a lot of fun the next 3 weeks, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is great. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Piscotty. And that's driven into left center field. Carpenter rounding second and on his way to third. Piscotty back to the bag at first, and the first two have reached here in the top of the first.
Cardinals have been so dependent on the home run. Just nice to see some. Hopefully we can manufacture some runs. There's the curveball from Tyon, but it stayed up a little bit. And a nice swing by Piscotty, who leads the ball club in just about every offensive category. Easy to go to first to third as the ball's out in the left center.
And it brings in Adams, who is homered in consecutive games, now up to 14 this year. And he homered into the Allegheny.
Prior to this series, he's really struggled here in Pittsburgh, closest place to his hometown, but back-to-back home runs.
There's been a handful of Cardinals that have driven a ball into the Allegheny. J.D. Drew the first back in '01 when this ballpark opened. Jim Edmonds, Colby Rasmus, Matt Carpenter did it last season, and Adams did it last night. Here's a 1-0 pitch to the big man. 2 balls and no strikes.
Cervelli, who sat out, came out, but let's take a look at this monster blast. No doubt about it, was it?
I think he knew it, and I think Vogelsong knew it.
I saw the reaction of Vogelsong last night. He definitely knew it.
You know, we were talking about the New York Mets. With the win today, they now have won 14 of their last 18 games. And on their schedule, they have only 6 games left against winning teams. And it's really just one team. It's the Nationals. So they have the easiest schedule remaining of those in the wild card hunt. The 2-0. Adams hits it the other way and a base hit. 1-0 Cardinals, and that drives in Carpenter. Just past the outstretched arm and glove of Gung at third base. And 3 consecutive singles to start game number 3 for the Cardinals.
You know, the home runs by Adams is great, but this is a really nice to see there. Pitch down and away, right on the black, and takes it to the opposite field for the RBI single. Nice going, Matt Adams.
RBI number 48. And one of the hottest hitters in this lineup is at the plate now in Yadier Molina. A 7-game hitting streak. 3 doubles, 3 home runs in those 7 games, and batting .448.
4-hit game last night with 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, and a grand slam to get started in the first inning.
Runners at first and second, and the 1-0.
That curveball is staying up a little bit for him. You know, here's a young kid that, you know, was obviously the best pitching prospect in the country 2010. And he used to just blow people away. Now he's realizing the sinker is a pretty valuable pitch to him right now, and he's kind of in between.
Fastball, the curve, and changeup. The Hyundai pitch arsenal doesn't walk many. His strikeout to walk ratio is nearly 6-1. So among starters right now in the game, there's only one that is better. That's Clayton Kershaw. He's walked just 12 in 83 innings total. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
That's the first thing we notice. A young pitcher that throws strikes. You know, it's a great attribute. They really like his mental makeup and feel that even though he's gotten off to a rocky start here, he is their future. Cole will be in that rotation.
The 2-2 pitch to Yachty. Tyler Glasnow is also a pitcher that is listed in their bullpen, but certainly could be in their rotation at some point.
And he's working out of their bullpen, as you said. He made a couple starts earlier, but a couple starts, gets to the big leagues, and then goes on the disabled list with shoulder discomfort.
The 2-2. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it has taken me back a bit. Clint Hurdle has not been chewing gum the last 3 games.
And we've never seen that. We've seen the strongest jaws in baseball just chomping at the gum, and maybe he gave it up to try and stop the losing streak. Well, it's up to 8 now.
The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball and a double play. Mercer, Harrison on to first, double play. A look at the Pirates defensively tonight. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Polanco, McCutchen, Joyce in the outfield. Young, Mercer, Harrison, Freeze. And Cervelli is behind the plate.
Danny, that was a rare. You know, Yachty's hit into 16 double plays, but for the second half, that might be only his second double play that he's hit into this the second half. He's hitting so well. In the last, grounded into 1 double play in his last 30 opportunities.
Here's Moss. He is over his last 22 with 9 strikeouts.
The do factor.
There you go.
So she's been saying that for a week.
Well, you'd love to see some big crowds when we come back home tomorrow night. 6:15 first pitch. Milwaukee in town, first of 4. Cardinals right in the thick of the pennant race. Still some good seats available. Some of those theme nights coming up as well at the ballpark. This is what you ask for, though, when you report to spring training in March. You know, you're saying just to have a chance to get in the playoffs.
You know, that you're very true. You know, you just ask, I want to be playing meaningful games in September. And the Cardinals obviously are. The Pirates thought they would be, and they were at the start of September.
Got a little bit of a shift on for Moss, so Gung, the third baseman, way off the line and away from the bag, so Piscotty can get a far lead off that bag. Ground ball, and that's tapped foul. We've seen Cervelli actually come from behind the plate, look at Piscotty, and then throw it a little bit harder back to Taillon. Make sure that Piscotty doesn't decide to take off.
But he was also almost walking all the way out to the grass in front of home plate. Of course, you see the third baseman out far off the line, so Piscotty can come down the line.
Held on to by Cervelli, and a strikeout. Matt Adams, an opposite field base hit to pick up the RBI, number 48. With this swing, a 1-0 St. Louis lead. First start since landing on the DL due to a bout with shingles. Prior to that, really been pitching well. 3 starts prior to shingles. He was 1-0, 2.84 ERA. And the Pirates have seen him an awful lot. Leak 9-5 in his career against Pittsburgh.
Pitched very well against Pittsburgh.
And a base hit that's past Carpenter into center field.
And in fact, there's only 2 pitchers, visiting players, that have ever pitched against the Pirates here at PNC Park and had 15 starts and posted a sub-3 ERA. Johnny Cueto and Mike Leake.
Harrison, Freese, McCutchen, then Polanco, Gung, and Joyce, Cervelli, Mercer, and the pitcher Tyon. David Freese, very good numbers against Leake. A .520 average, 13 hits and 25 at-bats. I think the question would be here tonight, Al, when you look at Mike Leake, number one, just control. Does he have control? You know, is he back to where he was? Can he be back to where he was? And then 2 would be just how deep could he go into a game? What kind of stamina does he have?
I think it was pretty controversial to me to, you know, he was away from the ball club ever since he had the shingles, and then returned and had one bullpen session on Sunday, and they deemed that he was ready to make this start. He's not a big guy, and I asked him today if you look, I thought he lost some weight, and he said yes he had. So it is a legitimate question how much stamina he will have in this ball game.
This would have been the start for Alex Reyes. He did have a light bullpen here at PNC a couple of days ago. So if he doesn't go very deep into the game, you've got Reyes backing him up and ready to go if need be.
And yet we kind of feel like they would like to save Reyes for later on, maybe to bridge the gap from a starter to, say, Segrist, you know, pitch the 6th and 7th inning rather than pitch really early in a game.
Let it go, and because of that, it's a base hit into center. If he fields it, it's a double play.
And Mike Leake is committed 4 errors, but he really is an outstanding athlete and a good fielding pitcher. So it was really shocking, but in his mind, he let it go because he thought his defense would be right there. And you can see now he realizes that he should have made the play himself.
Back-to-back singles, 2 on for McCutchen. Hit his 20th home run the other day. Game 1 of this series, he's driven at 60 and 252 the average.
Numbers down, but a 5-game hitting streak, and he's hit in 13 of 14 games.
And there's ball 1. He really caught in between on that play for Leake, because if he gets a glove on it, he maybe knocks it down. Maybe he fields it cleanly, but he let it go thinking, all right, fielder will find it. Turns into a double play. Instead, 2 runners on.
May have thought it got on him a little quicker, but you know, he's a nifty athlete. And it looked like it was about chest high, the ball, and there's no doubt if he would have caught it, he had a double play.
Here's a 1-1. Hit down the left field line and yanked foul. Monday pitch arsenal on Mike Leake. Fastball, cutter, slider, change, curve.
I thought there were times early in the season that he got in trouble with the long ball with his cutter. But in the second half, he's had to be very careful with his fastball because they've hit it to a .393 average.
The 1-2 struck him out. McCutchen wasn't sure that that was the 3rd strike. Missouri Lottery Fox tracks. He was ready to stay in there for a couple more hacks. Here's Gregory Polanco.
He struggled against Leake, and he's had some, he broke an 0 for 18 yesterday with an RBI single, but he's been dealing with some shoulder issues lately.
264 the average, leads their club in home runs and RBIs. 21 homers, 81 driven in. And a pitch that catches the inside corner. Chris Conroy is our home plate umpire. Mike Everett, the crew chief, at first. Jordan Baker at second. Tim Timmons down at third. Outfield plays him to pull in the 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Peralta over near the crowd and out of play. 0-2 the count. The Mets' victory today, their 5th straight sweep over Cincinnati. It was a 6-3 win. Noah Syndergaard with 5 scoreless in that game. Base hit into right. Piscotty fields it cleanly. The throw to the plate is not in time. Sliding in safely, Harrison. And you know the Cardinals will take a close look at this. You may recall it was Harrison that barreled into Yadier Molina a few seasons ago.
He gives him the lane, the outside of the lane, but I thought it was pretty close. And does he get him in the back before the hand reaches home plate? Chris Conroy is positioned. Couldn't really tell that, but apparently the Cardinals are satisfied with the call.
Here's Gung, who had a couple of home runs in game 2 last night. RBI number 82 for Polanco. Very close.
Yeah, strong throw again by Piscotty.
Terrific slide by Harrison to avoid that. Nothing at 2 the count. Gung had not played since the 20th of August and then was reinstated from the DL to start this series.
And he's had two home run games against the Cardinals this season. Debuted this year, come a long time on the DL with his injuries from late last season. Hit 2 home runs in St. Louis, and he hit 2 home runs last night. And he's 3 for 7 with a home run off a lead.
Hits away from Molina. And the runners advance to second and third.
All the way, Yachty tries to pick it. There, the weight shift and blocking it.
Two and 2 the count. Adams is in on the grass at first base. Little tapper hit up the third base line. That is fair. Throw to first. Out. Run does score, and the Pirates will take a look at this.
Good concentration with Peralta as that ball coming down. It looked like it was going to hit the bag, and he feels it all in one motion. It comes up throwing. So this was a bang-bang play there.
And the Pirates do want to take a closer look at it. They will challenge the call. To the naked eye, I thought he was safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pirates challenging the outcome on first base.
To the replay, he's safe too, right? Didn't look like it was in the back of the glove.
If it's a base hit, that'll be 4 for the Pirates here in the bottom of the first. They showed the review to the fans here at the ballpark, and it is an infield hit. So the call is overturned. Brings in Matt Joyce with runners at first and second. Now a 2-1 Pittsburgh lead.
Normally, Mike Leake has an easy time the first 3 innings. Not today. Should I say the first time through the order.
Joyce, his second consecutive start. He's in right field. Here's a 1-0. Just have to wonder in the back of Mike Leake's mind if he's just kicking himself for not fielding that ground ball off the bat of David Freese. Could have been a double play. Instead, he let it go through. Turned out to be a base hit. And now a 2-1 lead.
You know, you just can't. You got to put that out of your mind and move forward. Can't keep on lingering about it.
The 2-0 on the inside corner, 2-1.
I think it's legitimate. It's realistic to think that he would have his full strength to make this start.
Three balls and a strike. It's 21 pitches in the top of the first for Teon. And now 21 pitches for Mike Leake. And taken for a ball, a little high, and Molina questioning the home plate umpire on that pitch. First walk issued by Leake, bases loaded.
Wow.
Bases loaded. Polanco, Gunn, Joyce all aboard for Francisco Cervelli. Hurt himself on a swing back in game 1. Remember, he hurt himself earlier in a series against the Cardinals in which he had to have surgery. Cervelli back to Leake. He'll throw home out there. Molina fires a strike to first and a double play. Pirates get 2. It's now a 2-1 game. Pittsburgh. Matt Holliday, will he or will he not come back this year? More on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Well, Dan, Matt had a follow-up scan today on his surgically repaired right thumb. The news was good as Holliday is cleared to resume baseball-related activities. The Cards say he can progress as tolerated, and they are hopeful for a return in 2 to 3 weeks. Holliday told me via text the plan isn't set in stone just yet, but he'll start with dry swings and playing catch this week, which he hopes will lead to taking some BP, depending on how fast things progress. Overall, he's happy that everything with the thumb looked good, and then hopefully we'll see Holliday back in the not too distant future.
Obviously could be a huge bat returning for the Cardinals, Matt Holliday. Randall Grichuk, 2-run homer after the Carpenter home run, then a double last night in the 9th inning. And he's hit by that pitch. Leadoff man aboard. Grichuk seems to be fine.
Tyon really has pretty good control. Looked like he got him on the elbow pad. Still got to feel it a little bit. These pitchers are trying to feel out the strike zone, aren't they? And getting themselves under control.
In steps Johnny Peralta, opposite field home run in the 9th inning last night. The oddity of last night, Tony Watson, 37 games since the start of the 2013 season. He had given up a total of 1 run against the Cardinals. Last night, 9 pitches, 3 home runs. That's baseball, I guess.
And Dan, the guys that, you know, the 3 home runs and the double by Molina. Molina was 0 for 91 against Watson. You know, Peralta had the best batting average at .222. They all had really struggled against him. And very improbable, but we'll take it. One for the memory banks and the record books.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Watson blew his 3rd save. 2nd in as many opportunities since he took over for Mark Melancon. That was an 0-2 pitch to Carpenter. And the next 2 just said, hit me, right over the middle of the plate.
Watson blew a save that started their 8-game losing streak.
One ball and 2 strikes. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Peralta. Inside. Cardinals during this 3-game winning streak. Won the final game against the Reds and then 2 in this series. They've hit 9 home runs. They have scored 26 runs in those 3 games. You could see why many around baseball consider the Cardinals such a dangerous team as Grichuk is running. And Cervelli late with the throw from his knees and a stolen base for Randall Grichuk. That's number 4 this year.
Just the 32nd steal for the Cardinals this year. But he picked the pitcher, got that good jump off of the pitcher, and Cervelli with the late throw.
Puts himself in scoring position, and the 3-2 pitch. 6 is a serious number at on the run. When the Cardinals scores 6, any size drink is just 50 cents the next day. That's coffee, fountain, or frozen drinks. When they score, you pour at your nearest on the run. You earned it. The 3-2. Tapped foul. Runner at second base, Randall Grichuk. Pirates have dropped 8 straight. Longest streak since dropping 10 in a row back in August of 2011. And it couldn't come at a worse time for Clint Hurdle's club. 3-2 pitch. Peralta, base hit into right. And this game is tied. Johnny on his way to second base as Grichuk will score. And that makes it a 2-2 game. Johnny Peralta with RBI number 23 with the double.
Well, Dan, the ball club too, the way they feel that if they do get behind because of their firepower, they feel like they can always come back in a game. We've hit in home runs in 25 straight games, but right now you're seeing something we haven't seen very little during that time, and that's playing small ball and manufacturing a couple runs. The home runs will come later.
A swing and a miss by Greg Garcia.
Greg 6 for 14 on this road trip, and he's had some walks and really reaching base at a high percentage.
0-1 inside. Well, local media was pretty tough on Clint Hurdle's club today in the papers, basically saying that last night was the final nail in the coffin of this season for Pittsburgh.
Well, I would understand why Pittsburgh players would not read the papers. You know,
it's pretty tough.
You said some of the columnists even calling out and telling what coaches are going to be fired or should be fired and replaced. And
here's a 1-2 pitch. Just missed. 2-2. You know, and lost in everything too was the fact that Mike Myers had a scoreless 8th inning and picked up a win.
Picked up the win. I saw him today in the lobby and congratulating him. I remember after he had that 1-2-3 9th inning, I said, go get a win for him. They did. Didn't expect it the way that happened.
2-2 is pulled foul. Mike was Jim's pregame show guest, and I'll have more on that coming up in the 4th inning.
It's great to see a young kid who really, I mean, one of the worst major league debuts you could ever think of, and come back as Nick's appearance and pick up a win in a pennant race.
Two taken inside. Myers was telling us that he's very good friends with the man there on his left, on the right of your television screen, and that's Alex Reyes.
See what he's doing right there? Diego Segui. Reyes had a big ball, but Diego Segui played with him in St. Louis. He was a forkball pitcher, and he would take a softball and carry it down the bullpen to stretch his fingers out. Put it not like a split finger fastball out on your fingertips, but all the way back into the palm of your hand, so you would stretch your fingers. I wonder if that's what Reyes is doing.
I've heard guys taking a softball and doing that.
That's what he would.
Yeah.
Segui would do with softball.
3-2. Garcia hits it sharply to Mercer. He was played right up the middle.
I thought you had a base hit, and all of a sudden you looked up and saw the shortstop, and Mercer's pretty good. Second highest fielding percentage by a National League shortstop. Hard hit ball right through the wickets, but right there is your shortstop. You can see Johnny not get trapped on that one too.
In steps Mike Leake. 159 his average, no home runs, and he's driven in 4. I'd say that's scouting that has worked out pretty well when you're positioned right there.
Right there. Johnny had to know where he was that for him to get back and not get trapped.
Talked to Clint Hurdle last year in St. Louis, and we had some numbers. We were in his office and we said, the numbers are saying you guys are shifting more than anybody. And he said, absolutely. He said, I didn't believe it. Now I do. We travel a quote unquote coach, if you will, to explain to our players why we're doing what we're doing in terms of all the shifting. And he said, I was going into the final year of my deal. We weren't winning. Might as well try something different. And that's what he did. And the shifting has paid off for the Pirates.
Now there's some around the Pirates too that are trying to remind the analytics department that they spent all spring training trying to tell the Pirates that the most important spot in the lineup, you put your best hitter in the #2 hole. And that's where they had McCutchen. Well, now they don't have him there anymore, and some people think that that might have been the reason they got him started on his worst offensive season of the year. They don't talk about how important that 2 hole is anymore.
Into right field, and the catch is made.
I do believe that you use a blend of old school and analytics. Sometimes you just got to trust the old-fashioned baseball instincts.
Brings in Carpenter. Matt just 5 for 22 in his last 8 games. However, one of those hits, the home run, now a base hit into center. And when he goes many times, the offense goes for the Cardinals. Peralta back in safely.
I think Matt's getting closer and closer as you see the great Clemente. You know, he wouldn't have 3,000 hits without me.
You helped that out, huh?
I gave him 2.
The 21 is etched into the grass in right field. Wall here at PNC Park, 21 feet high. The Clemente Bridge, the statue. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. You think about his impact in the game today. Carlos Beltran has said that that is his hero. One of the oldest players now in baseball. One of the youngest is Carlos Correa, who's 21. Both credit Clemente for their love of baseball as his legacy looms large in Puerto Rico.
And Dan, I think it's throughout the entire Caribbean, and you're talking about Venezuela and places like that. Obviously Nicaragua, where he was on his way for the ill-fated plane crash and trying to help out the earthquake victims, and not Nicaragua.
2-1 is off the glove of Taillon, and that saves a run and takes a hit away. Roberto Clemente Day around Major League Baseball as his statue is situated just outside the ballpark and the Clemente Bridge. Josh Harrison. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Moss, Grichuk, Piscotty in the outfield. Peralta, Garcia, Carpenter, Adams on the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. I don't know if you have read the book that was written by Yadi's brother. It's called The Story of the Father Who Raised an Unlikely Baseball Dynasty. I've read the book, very interesting. And one of the excerpts from that book was the impact of Roberto Clemente on their family. Nice play there by Peralta to take it away. But in the book, it says, in many houses when I was growing up, including ours, the portraits of two famous men hung in honored spots among the family photos: Jesus Christ and Roberto Clemente. Clemente was all the evidence that their dad needed to support his belief that baseball beat out religion 6 ways to Sunday in turning out strong, decent men. Pretty big impact.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, Manny Mota, who's kind of, in some ways, almost like the little father of baseball for the Dominican Republic, you know, talks about the impact that Clemente had.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Jamison Taillon.
In the Dominican, it's the Manny Mota Little League.
Right. And a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Mike Leake. Good to see that gentleman back. As you may recall, Al, that fine young man right there used to have the handlebar mustache and the old-time Pittsburgh Pirates uni.
Yeah, he would change uniforms all the time or every day. I got on him about getting rid of the mustache. And
Are you being serious?
And he put a finger up to his the brow of his lip, upper lip, and he had a mustache drawn on his finger. But he looks completely different without the handlebar. Nice kid.
Here's a 1-1 to Harrison.
Much better inning for Mike Leake. Inning number 2.
Little tapper. Back to Leake, and he slings it over to Adams. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates. We played 2, and we're tied. Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Steven Strasburg activated from the DL and starts tonight for Washington. Chris Tillman expected to return on Sunday, and Jordan Zimmerman will start Saturday. Very tight race in the American League as well, in the wild card and some of the division races as well.
It's good for baseball, isn't it?
Yes. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Stephen Piscotty. Hit down the right field line and foul.
A 4-game hitting streak for Piscotty. He's had a tough beginning to this road trip, but starting to close off in a good fashion. 20 home runs, 75 RBIs, solid season.
Check swing, and he went. A strikeout of Piscotty. Second strikeout for Jamison Taillon. Margaritaville night is Friday, September 9th, and with the purchase of a special themed ticket, fans will receive a Margaritaville inspired Cardinals t-shirt. Also a pregame concert from a cover band, local cover band, and that's at cardinals.com/theme. A little bit low to Adams.
One of the Cardinal players went flying back there. That was Carpenter trying to get out of the way of that, but there's a flashback right there. That was when Taillon was hitting the head and everything. He stayed in the ball game and actually ended up with a quality start and got a lot of brownie points for his mental toughness. Thought about that when that line drive came up the middle, you know, that deflected off his glove that you know, Carpenter hit. That was July 19th right here at PNC Park. Hernan Perez hit that ball in the second inning against him.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Adams. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the top of the 3rd.
Most of the time you're a low ball hitter left-handed, so you see Savelli asking for the pitch up in the zone. Delivers it right there, and a swing and miss.
Well, it's obvious the Pirates need to have a starter go fairly deep into a game. Always want to see that. But this bullpen has been in shambles. 38 runs that they have allowed in the last 4 games alone. 38.
Got 11 pitchers down there, but got to pick the right one the right night.
Ray Searge, the pitching coach, who has done some great work with reclamation projects. They really love him here in Pittsburgh.
Cardinal farmhand. Cardinal minor league system as a player. Did get a little time in the big leagues, but he's made his impact as one of the best pitching coaches in baseball.
Told me that one of his biggest influences, and we hear this all the time, George Kissel.
I was going to say, say that. Somebody his age, it's got to be Kissel.
Kissel convinced him to start coaching, as he did with John Mabry. A strikeout of Yadier Molina. Taillon strikes out the side here at the top of the 3rd. We're tied. It's 2-2. the third. BJC Healthcare difference maker Adam Wainwright, a difference maker on the field and off of it as well. He is the Roberto Clemente Award nominee from the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals have had 4 players in the past be the recipient of that great honor, all the way back with Lou Brock, mid-70s.
And Dan, that probably had to, obviously the award had to be given after 72. So to have 4 already, and I would think.
Base hit by David Freese into right field.
I would think Adam Wainwright has a good chance to be the 5th. His endeavors. David now 15 for 27 off of Mike Leake.
Let's turn to Al's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, we kind of wondered about Mike Leake and his stamina, so you wonder about the second time through the order. Because Mike Leake, you know, if you think about it, he's got a 2.88 ERA with 4 home runs in the first 3 innings. But after that, 4 through plus, he's ERA gets up over 6, and he's given up 14 of his 18 home runs. So and it's only natural coming off the disabled list with shingles that depleted, you know, not working out, that it's a question mark of the stamina. So let's see how far he'll go today, but it could have a bearing on this outcome.
One pitch taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. The day after that tragic plane crash, then Pirates owner John Galbraith said, quote, "If you have to die, how better could your death be exemplified than by being on a mission of mercy?" It was so typical of the man.
Strong words.
So the clubs that are playing at home tonight recognize their nominees as part of this special day with a pregame ceremony. Matter of fact, it was Roberto Clemente Jr. who threw out the first pitch. The logo appears on all the bases. The official dugout lineup cards had a video tribute. Major League Baseball has also established a Seat 21 league-wide program that will give tickets to a particular game to those that are influential in those communities. And they did that tonight here at PNC Park.
Major League Baseball is trying to get so involved in charitable endeavors, but in my mind, I think this is the biggest award for the players. You know, to get involved in the community and be honored this way, to continue the legacy of Roberto Clemente. It's a great concept.
And again near the Cardinals dugout, but no damage done, thank goodness.
Didn't have that screen up there. And the padding.
Saw that shot of John Mabry. He told me it was George Kissel that said, "Look, I've worked with you for a number of years. We've made the transition from first base to the outfield, third base," which he had John on his knees fielding ground balls. "You owe it to somebody else to teach this game." And John told me that's the main reason why. There's a high fly ball that is lifted out to center field, but that's the main reason why he's still in uniform and coaching.
And Dan, you know that Carpenter last night got the 15th pinch hit home run to set a major league record, and he paid a strong tribute to John Mabry, because John, you know, for much of his career was a bench player, and he believes that how he has gotten the Cardinal pinch hitters, how to prepare for each one, how to go up there, look for the pitches, do different things, that he thinks is the reason the Cardinals have had such strong success as pinch hitting is because of John Mabry.
So here is Polanco, who is in left field for the second consecutive game. Understanding is because of back spasms from Marte. Out to left, that'll stay in the ballpark, and the catch made by Brandon Moss for the second out. Well, next time you want to grab seats Get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So get the StubHub app today. With 2 outs, it brings in Jung Ho Gun. Infield hit and an RBI. That was back in the first inning. 2 outs. David Freese at first. First pitch taken low. The first winner of what was then known as the Commissioner's Award prior to 1973 was Willie Mays. And then after the plane crash, it was renamed the Clemente Award. Gung, a base hit into left.
They can hit, Danny.
Yes, sir.
And loves hitting against the Cardinals.
Brings in Matt Joyce, who walked his first time up.
He's now 5 for 9 with a home run against Mike Leake.
And for our younger fans that don't know, Roberto Clemente died in a plane crash New Year's Eve 1972, attempting to deliver supplies to earthquake victims in Nicaragua.
Tell the story about Neil Walker.
It's an incredible story. Former second baseman and Pittsburgh native. His dad, a teammate at the time of Roberto's, and was supposed to be on that plane with him, and Roberto said, no, 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 you need to be with your family during the holiday season. Make sure you stay home. We've got enough help with us. And so Neil's dad stayed home, and as Neil says, if he didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, because it was conceived after that.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Joyce.
You want to know how extensive scouting reports were back there? I started one game in the big leagues, my 3rd major league appearance. It was at Forbes Field. I'm warming up against the Pirates. And Billy Muff, the pitching coach, said, I'm not going to tell you how to pitch these guys. You already know how. But he goes, Clemente, don't throw him anything inside. Don't throw anything at it. Don't even try to knock him down. You know, he'll hit it for a rope. For the first time up, I got the first 2 outs. He came up. I threw a curveball. He got a base hit over shortstop. Got out of the inning. Came in. He said, oh, I forgot to tell you, don't throw him any curveballs either. Threw a fastball down around away. The next time, got a ground ball to second. 3rd time up, fastball down away, about 6 inches off the plate. Threw his bat, hit a double down the right field line.
So that was your scouting report going for.
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't worry about it. You know, it's up and in, down, away. But it would be shocking for players of the 40s and 50s to see the analytics and the volumes of scouting reports that players get before every game. Yeah.
2-2, called 3rd strike. Mike Leake with his 3rd strikeout of the night. We head to the 4th, and it's a 2-2 game. the hitter. Dialing long distance, most consecutive games with a home run. This is since 1913. The Cardinals, if they get a home run tonight, would set the National League record. And that would be 26 consecutive games and one shy of the all-time record to tie the Texas Rangers, the 2002 club.
5 home runs last night.
Moss on the first pitch, a high pop-up. Mercer, the shortstop, called off at the end by Polanco.
That's how you do it. You know, you go out until you're called off, and Polanco with that long stride. So accustomed to see him in right field, but with Marte being out with the back spasm, he's taking over left field. A lot of people think that's where he should be playing, and then say move Marte to center field and Polanco, or maybe McCutcheon to left field too, and Polanco staying right. I think I really have like 3 center fielders.
Randall Grichuk hit by a pitch first time up. Picked up a stolen base as well, number 4. And scored on the double by Peralta to tie this game at 2. Those gloves, while they may be beat up, that is Jordy Mercer's best friend between the white lines.
Oh yeah, and he's good with it too. Now, it's probably old, but it's probably been restrung about 3 or 4 times.
Special relationship that a fielder has with his glove.
You know, he may use a new glove every year in batting practice, but you go back to your old trusty one, and then you'll have the trainers rework the strings, keep it nice and pliable.
2-2, softly hit towards third. Gung not in time. Base hit by Randall Grichuk.
Nice play by Gung, but Grichuk is on base for the 2nd time tonight. 6-game hitting streak. Good breaking ball right there. Put your head down and just run. I'll tell you later whether you're safe or out. Do or die play for Gung. Kind of let it roll to your fingertips and then catch it in the palm and then let it roll back down to your fingertips and throw it.
Here's Peralta. His double to right tied it up. Let's see if Grichuk wants to do some running again. Cardinals just don't run very much. You think about Piscotty, 7 stolen bases, Colton Wong, Randall Grichuk.
Okay. Scotty leads the team with 7, and Wong is 6 for 6. Got to get him to run more, feel comfortable to run more. I wonder if Grichuk and Tyon ever hooked up in high school.
Tyon was born in Lakeland, Florida, but then his family moved to Texas. Mom and dad are actually Canadian.
Yeah, I saw that. And you know, the Woodlands area, so suburb of Houston.
So Tyon is a dual citizen of both the United States and Canada.
So he's going to pitch for the Canadian team. I wouldn't let my pitchers go.
2-0 pitch is a fly ball lifted down the right field line, and it is foul.
And the World Baseball Classic come up this spring, right? And you know, position players can get ready quickly, but spring training is 6 weeks long because pitchers need the time. And it seems like every year you're in camp for about a week or so, then the pitchers go and play in those games. You're playing in front of a packed house. You try to do things you're not quite ready for, and it seems like every year a few guys either get hurt or they really have a down season that perform in those at Classic.
I just wonder if it affected, if at all. He never made it an excuse, but Mitchell Boggs pitched for Team USA and Joe Torre, and that was on the heels of his incredible season as a setup man.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think it's a factor.
2-2 the count.
Never the same. He was young.
And that power sinker, but really lost control in terms of being able to spot the ball.
Yeah, he tried to do things that before you're ready for it.
The 2-2 pitch. Runner goes, and Peralta lines it into center field. Grichuk on his way to third. That was about a foot, maybe a half a foot away from being a double play. And instead, runners at first and third, and the 8th place hitter, Greg Garcia, will dig in.
But it was a rocket. Look where the second baseman is, and you see how close he gets. He dives for it, came up, she said, about a foot short. Even though Grichuk didn't steal on there, but he goes to first to third on the second hit of the night for Johnny Peralta.
Taillon did participate World Baseball Classic for Team Canada. He was the youngest member at that time at the age of 21.
And you know, he missed the 14 and 15 seasons with Tommy John and then a hernia, so it might have been a factor. Young kid trying to come back, or trying to be on that big stage, biggest stage he's ever been on.
Runners at first and third, one out, and Garcia will be the hitter. Join us for Purina's Better Together Pet Adoption Days at the ballpark September 8th and the 13th. Head to Ford Plaza prior to the games. Meet adoptable furry friends from Gateway Pet Guardians and Helping Strays. Tickets available at Cardinals.com. Early start tomorrow, 6:15. The first pitch. We're on the air at 5:30. And still good seats available all weekend long.
Big at bat in this game.
Ball 1 to Garcia.
8th place hitter, got one out. Garcia 0 for 1 tonight, but 6 for 15 on the road trip. And you know he's going to swing at strikes only.
Well, you think about the squeeze, even with a left-handed bat at the plate. Pitcher on deck. 2-0. Just the key is, especially with a left-handed hitter, don't give it away too early.
Well, or you know, the safety squeeze. You know, you're not doing the suicide, because then they just pitch out. And the only thing a left-handed hitter can do is throw the bat at it.
Garcia wants Chris Maloney to go through the signs again. Here's a 2-0. Catches the corner, 2-1.
A wide part of the plate there, right? Like it really went around the plate, not even close. Closer, but not close. And he gets a call.
Three and one.
Mike Leake can swing the bat pretty well on deck, but I mentioned this is a key at bat, and I love the way Garcia just finds a way to get himself on base. Speed pitch when he's behind. The ball, and even that one got a hump in it, but Garcia was not expecting it.
3-2 pitch, and the bases are loaded. So the first walk issued by Taillon. Inning started with a fly out by Moss. Grichuk, infield hit. Peralta base hit to center. Walk to Garcia. Sacks full now for the pitcher Mike Leake. couple guys that swing the bat pretty well there.
And put Mike Leake in there too. You know, he has the second highest batting average among active pitchers. And he has 6 career home runs. Whereas Adam Wainwright had 9 extra base hits to start this season. And what, 14 RBIs?
Chance to return back home. There's John Rooney and Rick Horton along with Jim Jackson, Chet Willoughby of the famous statistician family, 3rd generation in St. Louis. So
Amazing.
bases loaded and 1 out.
Amazing what they can do with numbers.
Bunt is down, but foul.
Safety squeeze. You know, you're not, the runner down third is not running on contact. He's waiting until the ball put in play, and you know it's very difficult if you get that bunt down. It really is a high percentage that you're going to get that run across.
2 for 8 with the bases loaded in his career. Here's the 0-1. And again, trying to bunt, strike 2.
That's a 206 lifetime hitter. Good average when you're over 200 for a pitcher.
Ground ball and a double play. Out at second and out at first. Cardinals will take a look at it. Had trouble getting it out of the glove.
Just wonder if Mike Leake eased up, didn't run hard out of the box. But that double clutch gives him a chance.
Thumbs down. That means we head to a commercial break. Cardinals hit into the double play. And this game remains tied 2-2. Up a win. More on that. Let's check in with Jimmy.
Yeah, not that he was expecting to get into a game that close that quickly, but he was ready to go. We had Mike on the pregame show, Dan, and he told me after his big league debut back in July when he was plucked from the minors to make one start on a nationally televised game against the Dodgers at Busch Stadium, he lasted just an inning and a third. He told me there were mixed emotions. He said, I became a big leaguer. That was a lifelong dream, but I was also, for lack of a better word, embarrassed. He said he was chomping at the bit to get back. He said, quote, you start thinking about the people who supported you and helped you to get to this point. You want to do well for the team and yourself, but especially for those people, you want to make them proud. Dan, I think last night he did. Nice young man.
Absolutely. Good job on the interview, too, on the pregame show. He had the chance to catch that. Great moment for Mike Myers. By the way, he also had pitched pretty well at AAA.
I mean, he earned his to come up here the first time, and he earned it to come up in September. But also remember, too, you know, young player that came off that thoracic outlet syndrome a year ago. So another young player to keep your eye on and think about the future. Looked very comfortable last night.
Here's a 1-2. Just a bit high to Cervelli. He grounded into a 1-2-3 double play. The bases loaded back in the first. Fouled back. Want a great deal on tickets? Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more now until September 29th, and receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
He's hit very well against the Cardinals this year. 8 games, he hits .364. He hit a couple pitches ago, fouled one off his foot. Two catchers feeling for each other.
They've both been there. Up and in, and it's 3-2. Show you the pitch that caught Molina on the top of the foot. Ouch.
You got that flap, but doesn't protect all the time.
Broken bat, soft liner into center. Grichuk can't come up with it. He bounces in front of him for a leadoff base hit.
See, he felt like he was going to leave his feet and try and make another sensational catch, but I realized he wasn't going to be able to do it. Does a good job to keep it in front of him. Shatter the bat, you start running in. You know the ball's not going to carry. Albie Pearson, a little center fielder with the Angels back in the 60s. He wasn't very tall. He was like 5'8" or something like that. They said with some of the crown fields back then, he couldn't always see the batter. But he had a sixth sense of how he just guessed from the sound and used that, you know, to pick up the baseball.
And a strike.
Makes it a little tough, doesn't it?
When you talk to center fielders, they look at the swing. Some of them know the pitches that are coming. Obviously know the hitters. Hear the sound off the bat. A number of things part of that combination.
I see Jim Edmonds during his time that sometimes he would take off, just seeing where the pitch was made and have a sixth sense that I know this hitter well enough that I know where he normally hits the ball. I used to watch Kendo do that at second base, that this pitch is being made, he was moving, left to right, and just about every time they were right.
Ask Jimmy, what's your best bit of advice for a center fielder? He said, talk to your rotation, talk to the pitcher, having an understanding of how they're approaching certain hitters. On an 0-2 pitch, a base hit into right. Sticks the bat out. That's Jordy Mercer, and the first two have reached.
Second time through the order, they've got 4 base hits off of Mike Leake. Hanging breaking ball, like you said, just got a piece of it. He was playing up the middle and second base, and it goes on through. Let's have activity in their bullpen.
I believe that's Alex Reyes throwing for the Cardinals.
It is.
So here's Tyon. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Home half of the fourth inning. Squares to bunt, gets it down. Adams will throw to first. Covering Carpenter. Runners advance to second and third.
Excuse me, it's Polovich. Good job by Tyon. Mike Lee couldn't help himself. Oh, it is Reyes. You thinking we'd see him a little later?
Tight game can give you multiple innings.
Sure. I think we all like the idea of having to pitch more games in a week than, you know, multiple innings and then you're shut down for 2 or 3 games. But this is a big win here.
So the infield is drawn in. It brings in Josh Harrison. A base hit, run scored back in the first. Also grounded back to Leake. Outfield is straight away. Fly ball. Catch will be made by Grichuk. Cervelli tagging up, and the Pirates back on top. That makes it a 3-2 Pittsburgh lead. RBI number 56 for Harrison.
David Freese has had great success against Leake. He's now 15 for 27. 2 for 2 tonight.
Base hit into center, base hit into right.
Earlier this year, he was given a 2-year contract extension with a club option for a 3rd. Couldn't be happier for David.
How many more standing O's will he get when he returns to Busch Stadium?
I would think probably the rest of his lifetime.
A few more.
And then what about post-playing career? He'll get one every time. What he did in 2011. Hometown hero.
This is why David Freese, Game 6, 2011 World Series. The triple to tie the game. Home run to win it. MVP, NLCS, and the World Series of 2011. Going to right again. Adams, a flip to Leake, and out. Got him.
What a play.
Terrific play. Adams to Leake, takes a hit and saves a run for the Cardinals. Freese sliding into first, but not in time. 3-2 Pittsburgh. Matt Carpenter leads it off, followed by Steven Piscotty and Matt Adams. 3-2. The Pirates have the lead. Very good play by Adams to end the fourth.
Great play by Adams, who the last second dove, reached out, and just snared that ball and looked right there to cover. That dirty uniform fits Carpenter, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Thinking about those standing O's for David Freese. It's been a special moment every time this year he's gotten them. It is unique that a visiting player does get that. Obviously, he did something very unique. I love it. Love it every time I see it.
What I love about it, it tells every visiting player that comes through St. Louis, you want to play in St. Louis.
It's a special place.
Yeah.
Players know it. Big crowds. Appreciation for both sides.
They want to see their team win, but they appreciate the athleticism of both teams. And if you do something special, you'll be recognized for it.
All right, here's a question for you. Is David Freese a Cardinals Hall of Famer at some point? Because of, I realize not the great numbers over the course of what he, the time he played in St. Louis, but
I know exactly where you're going, and because of the fan vote, I think it's a strong possibility.
Three-two pitch. Carpenter with a high fly ball lifted into shallow right. Catch is made by Matt Joyce. I mean, it's so unique. It's so incredible. Hometown kid, hometown story, and one of the most remarkable postseasons in the history of baseball.
Well, we hope he plays a long time because there are so many deserving players to go into the Cardinal Hall of Fame.
I think it's interesting, though.
Yeah,
how it would be approached. I agree with you. If it's a fan vote, he'd get in.
Well, the first two players, right, are fan vote, and once they qualify from a panel. So let him play another decade, and
we'll worry about
we'll
it.
See it. Yeah. They've been saying, please, please.
And I know in talking with David, he's very grateful, very appreciative for it. But he also has said to me, it's almost a little bit embarrassing too.
I shared that with him, and of course, we opened the season here in Pittsburgh, and I shared a cab with Rick Sutcliffe coming in for that first game. And Rick told me he had just been in spring training, and he talked to Nelson Cruz, who was the right fielder for Texas that game. And Nelson Cruz told him, remember the ball, the triple got over his head? And we said, how can you have that? No doubles defense. No ball can go over the head of an outfielder without it leaving the ballpark. And Nelson Cruz told Sutcliffe that he moved in several steps because he wanted to be quicker to the celebration in the middle of the field.
You buy that?
Yep.
Really?
Think about it. Why would he? Their outfield coaches find him there. Ever since high school, you've learned that no doubles defense. I think it's very plausible. And do buy it.
5 strikeouts for Jamison Taillon.
See right there how Taillon, all the pitches inside, it's uncomfortable for hitters.
And a strike to Adams. Adams, an RBI base hit, is also struck out. Ground ball slowly hit to the right side. Handled by David Freese and a flip to tie-up. Cardinals go 1-2-3. The hometown hero, David Freese. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. By your local Volkswagen dealer. And by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco, and Jung Ho Gung. 3-2 our score. Near the bottom of the fifth. And a one-run lead for Pittsburgh. McCutchen is struck out swinging and also flied out to center. Cardinals right now look back at that bases loaded situation and you say, what if? Bases loaded, one out, Leak bunted a couple of times, 2 attempts. Then eventually with 2 strikes had to swing and get into a 6-4-3 double play. That's been their best opportunity of the night to add on.
If you go back to also the first inning where you had first 3 batters had base hits and you only walk away with 1 run.
3-1 pitch to McCutchen. High fly ball into center. Grichuk going back at the wall and makes the catch. So McCutchen is over 3 and it brings in Polanco. Notice recently Grichuk very good going back on a ball. Has had some issues coming in.
Yeah, it's just, you know, we've seen a couple times where he's taken that first step back and it's cost him a little bit coming in on a ball, but remember he was a Gold Glove winner when he was at the AA level in the Angel organization before he came to St. Louis. Just got a lot of talent and we're just touching the edges.
Polanco, the RBI single in the first, and drove in Harrison, and he's also flied out to left. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Don't miss St. Louis's biggest office party and the workplace wellness event of the year. The Biz Dash, Thursday, September 15th at Ballpark Village. Live music, company tailgates, and more. All you have to do is visit stlbizdash.com. Tied him up with that pitch. 1-2.
In on him and see an awkward swing.
Reaches for it, lines out to right. No, over the head of Piscotty. And Polanco gliding into second base with a stand-up double.
Think about the last 2 swings. The first one inside, very awkward, tying him up, then getting the ball out over the plate where he can extend his swing. Get those arms extended, and boy, he lined this ball. Piscotty coming back on it, and that's over his head. I wonder how much Piscotty has had flashbacks to last year. Remember, he had the injury here, the collision with Borges out in left center, and for a while you thought he broke his neck.
Then he was in the lineup a couple of days later.
Yeah.
It's a series that the Cardinals eventually got to 100 wins, won the division, then went to Atlanta to finish up the regular season. So 1 out, runner at second. Reyes is up for the 2nd time. So if you're going to get him up a couple of times, he's coming in this game.
I could even envision they may bring him in right now. You know, Yachty out there to talk to leagues. Stall long enough for Reyes to get a few more throws. You and I were talking about it, that Reyes is very unusual for a young pitcher, that, you know, and a starter, that it doesn't take him much time to get warmed up at all. But and see, that's the play.
Yep. So this will be our Chevy call to the pen. That'll be it for Mike Leake. And Reyes coming on when we come back. .35 ERA for Alex Reyes in the rotation, in the bullpen, now back in the bullpen in relief of Mike Leake tonight, who is 4 1/3, gives up 9 hits. This is our Hyundai pitch arsenal. Well, this is the idea. You know, if you're in a tight game Alex Reyes. Typically, you'd love it to be maybe in the 6th, the 7th, maybe even the 8th. But Alex Reyes, with his dominating stuff, can bridge the gap to get you to your closer.
You're absolutely right. It all works if your starters are going 5 or 6 innings. But Reyes has made 2 starts for Mike Matheny. Opponents are batting .188 against him. He has that ability to, he's very comfortable in the rotation and in the bullpen. Gung has hit every other Cardinal pitcher. Why not find out about Reyes?
He's 2 for 2 tonight. Also being used as a reliever. Air it out a little bit more. Maybe we'll see velocity a little bit higher, which it was initially as he came out of the pen.
Good velocity there.
Carpenter saying thanks a lot. Can't feel my hand now. Gung is the kind of guy that can hit a fastball and hit it well too. A lot of his damage has been done against the fastball.
And Dan, you kind of look at his stance. It looks like he wouldn't be prepared to hit a high octane fastball, but you're absolutely right.
Picks up that front leg, so then you're committed.
Kind of can't get out of the way of a ball until you put it back down. But timing mechanism and triple digits is not that big a deal anymore. Several guys around the league.
We've seen now 3 off-speed pitches to Gung. Has not gotten that fastball yet.
Well, everybody knows about it, so you would think a hitter is going to be geared up for the fastball.
Two-one pitch. A pitch at 98 in on his hands. 2-2.
You're right about talking with Alex Reyes. Very young man that's got his head on his shoulders the right way. Very easy to talk to and
always smiling.
Yeah.
Very pleasant. 2-2, softly hit to short. Ray Garcia makes the play.
2 outs, ball in front of the runner Polanco, so he can't advance.
Well, with expanded rosters, Reyes up for the 2nd time. Gung 2 for 2 at the time off a leak. You certainly can understand why you make this move. If you're not in September, you're in May, June, July, different story.
Remember too, we talk about it all the time, but the Cardinals, their firepower and their ability to score late in the ball game is very much part of this decision making. Hold them right there, 1-run deficit, and it's easy to come back from.
Pitch inside to Joyce, who has walked back in the 1st, called out on strikes in the 3rd. Polanco with a double into right. He stands at 2nd base. And the 1-0. Fly ball into center. And Alex Reyes comes in and gets the final 2 outs. The bottom of inning number 5. Pirates on top. It's 3-2. league debut. 24-year-old from San Diego, and that is Trevor Williams. He was flipped to the Pirates from the Miami Marlins in exchange for Richard Mitchell last October. And in a way, he's kind of been lost in the shuffle of some of the great young arms that they have, like Tyon, Garrett Cole, and some of the others. They feel, though, that this is another arm that will be in their rotation. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard concerning Yadier Molina. What a great second half he has had. 444 the average in the month of September for the Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina. He'll lead it off in a moment that this young man will never forget in his major league debut, to face potentially a future Hall of Famer in Yadier Molina.
Williams had a very good August where ERA was under 1 in 6 starts.
And he's greeted with a drive into right center, and it is dropped. It's Adam Frazier in right field, and Yadier Molina trots into second base, and he's in scoring position representing the tying run here in the top of the 6th. That's an error.
Frazier does the tough part, and that was to get back on this line drive right in the middle of the glove. Looks like it hits him in the heel of the glove and pops out. He is nothing but hit since he's been called up and plays all over the field. But there's a start right there for the Cardinals. Hard hit ball by Yadi.
And now it's Brandon Moss, who is struck out and also flied out.
0 for his last 24. 0 for the road trip. Mentioned that Williams from California. Sometimes Californians are known as a little different. I read a quote from him where he was talking about his sinker. He said, "I throw my sinker and it's over. The at bat's over." We'll see.
Here's a 1-0. First start since August 17th for Steven Strasburg, and he leaves with an apparent injury in the 3rd inning against the Atlanta Braves.
Wow.
One ball, one strike on Brandon Moss. Runner at second is Yadier Molina. The shift is on for Moss. Ground ball hit to the right side, and Freese thought about going to third. He'll step on the bag, gets the shore out. So a productive out for Brandon Moss, and now it brings in Randall Grichuk.
Dan, think about was it the year they shut down Strasburg, because they were going to be in the World Series every year for the next decade.
2012.
2012. I'm sure nobody will admit that might have been a wrong decision, but Strasburg's been hurt quite a bit since that time. Great talent.
Infield is in, and the first pitch is strike. David Freese thought about going to third base. Yep. Little smile for Yadier Molina. That pitch is a foul ball, 0-2. Grichuk hit by a pitch, stolen base number 4 of the season back in the 2nd inning. And he also scored a run on a double by Peralta. Picked up an infield hit in the 4th, and then was left stranded.
Exit speed on ball hit by Grichuk. A lot of extra base hits. Perfect for fly ball. Now deliver.
0-2 is a base hit. Muscles it out to center field. On an 0-2 pitch, he delivers as Molina scores, and we're tied at 3.
Absolutely right there, Danny. 57th RBI for Grichuk, and good power pitch in on his hands, and he just muscles it. Mercer misses this by inches. Goes on through, and we have a tie ball game. Now let's get the lead for the first time tonight. Or the second time tonight. Had it in the first.
Looking at that, you could say, why have the infield in with Molina running at third?
It's a very good point.
As Peralta hits it out of play, and also to kind of further your point too, infield in, you're already going to open up hitting lanes. If he puts a ball and squares it up, it's going to be a bullet usually somewhere.
Yeah. Made a good pitch, but a better piece of hitting than muscle it there. But I'm sure the analytics said to do that.
Check on Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, see, infield in, and with Yachty, you can't get the big run or lead because you got your third baseman relatively close. If you're back at normal shortstop depth, might have gotten the run, but they would have gotten an out.
Breaking ball taken low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a 1-1. Outfield is straight away. Room on the right side of the infield. Now, this is one of the things about analytics too. If Johnny Peralta is 100% healthy, you do expect him to pull it to the left side of the infield, which he may do here. But he's been trying to take the ball to right more because of the injury with the hand. Just something to think about.
Sure. Now, it's sometimes you say, well, you can't ask somebody to do something they're not capable of doing, but we know Johnny can shoot that ball to the right side. There's a big gap. But there's why they have the somewhat of a shift on, expecting him to pull.
3-2.
And the off-speed pitches. Be out in front a little bit.
See if they want to start the runner on 3-2. There he goes. Swung on and missed. Throw down to second, and it turns out to be a double play. Cardinals get a base hit from Randall Grichuk. On base for the 3rd time. She drives in Molina. We're tied at 3. memorable baseball moments. 30,000 fans, 16 and older, receive an Eddie Goodell bobblehead commemorating his historic plate appearance for the Browns. 1951, courtesy of Maryville University. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for tickets.
New ball game, Danny. And anytime we can get a chance to see Reyes pitch, we feel pretty good about it.
Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, and then Frazier. 3-3 our score in the bottom of the 6th. High fly ball, lifted out to left. Backing up a few steps, Brandon Moss, 1 pitch, 1 out. So Reyes came in after the double by Polanco in the 5th with a runner at 2nd and 1 out. He got Gung to ground out, and then Joyce flied out. So he's recorded 3 so far.
And I've seen a lot of guys that have trouble throwing strikes or get their pitch count up in the minor leagues, but you bring them in the bullpen, and particularly if they come in with runners on base, all of a sudden they find that they have to throw strikes, and they find that they aren't as wild. You know, it's kind of a mixed bag. You have much better hitters here. They have a better idea, but so are your fielders.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Jordy Mercer. Outside of the obvious, which is an electric fastball, very good curveball, plus changeup, just the mannerisms of Reyes. There's that good breaking ball. I mean, he came up to the major leagues. He had the look of a guy that carried himself as if to say, yep, I'm supposed to be here. I know I'm not cocky, but confident.
And there is a difference. You know, a lot of times people will really hide their insecurities behind that cockiness. But there's the young player that comes up and feels they belong.
A swing and a miss. That pitch at 100 from Reyes.
Just blew him away.
And for Alex, that's his first strikeout.
Just such a simple, easy windup. And Luke Weaver, you know, it's so simple that there's very few moving parts, so it's hard to get out of sync.
Here's Frazier, first plate appearance of the night with 2 outs and nobody on. Good changeup. You know, when you see those knees buckle a little bit with these hitters, you know the stuff's pretty good. Go back to the previous changeup and watch
the knees.
Frazier.
Yeah. Whoop.
Pretty good. Curveball at times I think has been inconsistent, but very good changeup. Tremendous fastball. The 2-1 pitch. Change up again.
And you keep it down there, you sell it. Frazier went 2 for 2 with a home run off the bench Monday. .100 again. .3-2 fastball. Fastball right down the middle, you know, down the quicken his bat up a little bit, then he's susceptible for a changeup, but back to the fastball.
Hits it the other way and a base hit off the sidewall, and Frazier heads into second base with a 2-out double.
He's been a hitting machine, Danny. You know, Frazier really hits left-handers very well, but you know, in his starts he was batting .368. Mentioned he was 2 for 2 with a home run and coming off the bench on Monday, and there takes a pitch down and away and slices it into left field off the side wall for a double.
Now Josh Harrison singled and scored in the first. Bounced back to Leake and also a sac fly as he picked up the third RBI in this game for the Pirates. 3-3 our score. Well, Fox Sports Midwest and Mission continues, recognizing the 15th anniversary of September 11th in our United in Service campaign. Team up with veterans at the Gamble Rec Center. That's on September 10th. Visit missioncontinues.org/event to find out more. Out in front of the changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And we're talking about these scouting reports that all these teams have, and certainly they've got it with Alex Reyes. And what we've seen is that the hitters, they know he can hit triple digits. They gear up for that fastball. That changeup becomes even more effective.
And then you're thinking about those two, and then you get that good curveball. Hitters like to eliminate pitches, but when you have 3 exceptional ones, it's tough.
1-2 pitch, taken high.
Wait for a bad changeup, or you wait for a hanging curveball. But you always got to look fastball and gear up for that one, and you're at the mercy of the off-speed pitch.
The 2-2 blew it by him. 100 on the gun from Alex Reyes. 2 strikeouts in the game for Alex. Old-fashioned hardball. Hit it if you can. Woo. 3-3 as we head to the 7th. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Garcia, then Reyes his spot. And Matt Carpenter. 3-3 our score. The beauty right now of Alex Reyes is that this would have been his day to pitch. So, multiple innings should be no problem for him tonight. Already at 2.
And he's at the on-deck circle, so he's going to stay in this ball game now that it's tied. Cardinals are so good at scoring seventh inning and later.
Garcia puts it in play to short. Mercer charging. And there's one down. Greg Garcia tonight 0 for 2 with a walk.
Trevor Williams in his second inning of work. An unearned run scored against him first inning.
Jameson Taillon went 5 innings, 6 hits. So he struck out 5. One out, nobody on, and the pitcher Reyes. We have seen he takes a pretty healthy cut.
Just looking at that.
0 for 5, 3 strikeouts so far this year. The Cardinals have a developmental program in which they teach them life lessons off the field, what happens on the field, obviously, dealing with the media, and it's a program that they put their top prospects through. And Alex was talking the other day about how helpful, in his opinion, that program has been, and that he wants to be involved with it for other players coming up.
Well, he's so special in the sense that he grew up in New Jersey. He was going back to the Dominican, yearly. But I said, well, when did you really go back to the Dominican? Because he was signed out of the Dominican. And he said, I went back there in my senior year, and I said, was it expressed reason to be not drafted? And he goes, no, I just wanted the exposure. Thought he'd get more exposure in the Dominican. Hard to believe you're from New Jersey and you aren't going to be seen, and you have the physical abilities that he has. But
well, and there's also the fact you could sign as an international free agent.
That's what I'm saying.
You avoid the draft as Reyes singles into right, and his first major league hit. Congratulations to Alex Reyes, first big league hit.
But because he's bilingual, that's where I really see it. He could be very, very helpful to the other Latin players and help sell that program. They have the same thing with in baseball, where they take top prospects and do the same thing, but then the Cardinals enhanced it for their young players and prospects. Nice little swing there. Carlos Martinez was taking half credit. He likes to have fun, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Here's Carpenter, last night's hero. Cardinals still looking for that home run that would give them 26 consecutive games of the homer.
But it's our home run inning.
Matt is singled. Then he grounded off the pitcher's glove, the line drive, and then flied out to right. Arcia in the driver's seat. Cardinals leadoff man Matt Carpenter. Pinch hitting this season. He was the pinch hitter last night. Picked up that home run. That's now a new major league record. 15 home runs from the Cardinal pinch hitters. 4 of those by Hazelbaker to lead the club. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Good cut by Carpenter.
He was looking for it there. Something to think about too is we got Jerko on the bench today.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Carpenter as they play behind Reyes. Take it outside. On deck, Stephen Piscotty.
Harp talking last night that got down 0-2 to Watson. So he wanted to shorten up a little bit.
The 2-2. Hits it sharply to Freese. A race to the bag and out. Well, Carpenter's hitting some tough luck here tonight. Very good play by David Freese.
The Cardinals are fortunate that it doesn't become the fourth double play that they hit into. Gets this ball cleanly. It might have been another double play for them, but the frustration for Carpenter, but Freese sticks with it and makes a nice play.
It's a situation here that you'd think about pinch running for a pitcher at second base, but not with Reyes out there.
When you want him to pitch a few more innings.
Nope. So here is Piscotty. Steven tonight. A couple of strikeouts and also a base hit to left center on a 1-2 pitch, his first time up. Here's the 0-1.
Scotty's second in the National League with runners in scoring position. It's .375 average. Got one hit. He leads the ball club in 38 multi-hit games.
Foul ball. 1-2.
Been very clutch with 34 two-out RBIs. That ranks fourth in the National League. A lot of numbers working for Piscotty.
So 2 outs, go ahead run, and Alex Reyes, the runner at second base. And the 1-2 pitch to Steven Piscotty. Outside, 2-2. Adams on deck. Nobody getting loose for the Pirates in their pen.
You've talked about it. The rough time the bullpen's had.
The 2-2. May have seen when Carpenter got to first base, he was upset looking back at the home plate umpire, and I believe he was trying to call time at one point. Let's see. Didn't get it. Did not motion with the hand. He was trying to do it though vocally. Here's a 3-2. Inside. And that will extend the inning to Adams. Well, if you're Clint Hurdle, you're saying, I want my right-hander to face Matt Adams. Or, on the flip side, you just think ahead with it. He brings in a lefty, then Mike Matheny goes to his bench. And you're looking at, more than likely, Jed Jerko.
Right now, Matt Adams is swinging the bat as good as we've seen ever in Pittsburgh. Jerko, no surprise he's out of the lineup. All the home runs he's hit in the second half.
First pitch, a ball to Adams. There's a base hit to left. That was an RBI as well. Drove in Matt Carpenter. He is struck out and also grounded out.
He's 4 for 12 with 2 home runs in this series.
Runners at first and second. Off speed pitch, floats in for a strike, 1-1.
Looks a little wide, doesn't it? Made good pitcher's pitch, right on the black.
Outfield is straight away, and the 1-1 pitch to Adams. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Can Matt Adams come through? The 1-2. Adams, little floater, out to short, and the catch is made by Jordy Mercer. Cardinals strand 2, and it's time to stretch. Good ball game. It's 3-3. by Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. By National Car Rental. Go national, go like a pro. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. This will be the third inning of work for Alex Reyes. Couple of strikeouts, just one hit allowed. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Pirates. Bottom of the 7th rolls in David Freese, Andrew McCutchen, and Gregory Polanco.
And they have found this little nugget. You know, the Cardinals have hit home runs in 25 straight games. The Giants, their 3 leading home run hitters, Brandon Bell, Brandon Crawford, and Buster Posey, have gone 243 at bats without a home run.
McDonald's Ticket Fest is back. Visit Cardinals.com/McDonald's. Purchase $9 tickets for the Cubs series upcoming. And that's $9 tickets at Cardinals.com/McDonald's. Reminder, the early start tomorrow, 6:15. Good seats still available. The Cardinals hunt for a postseason berth again. Strike 2, David Freese. Freese 2 for 3. He was robbed last time up by Matt Adams. Hits it sharply to Carpenter. And that's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th.
The economical for Reyes.
Very much so.
6 outs now on his 27 pitches. He's allowed 1 base hit, a couple strikeouts.
Brings in McCutchen, who is struck out, fly to center, and flied deep to center. 0 for 3 tonight. Breaking ball and a good one.
Talked about how tough the Papers have been up here on the hurdle, and his coaching staff. They've been pretty tough on McCutchen, their best player. There's the highest paid player. Should take some heat.
You win, expectations get higher and higher. That's been the case here with Pittsburgh. Fastball at 99.
Right, though, it just doesn't seem like Clint Hurdle without that jaws going a mile a minute.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Two. What we've been told, we'd have to ask Clint about this, but apparently he's had neck pain and shoulder pain, and the doctors told him, quit chewing gum.
Makes some sense, doesn't it? Right. Wasn't just easy chewing.
He's chomping.
He's chomping, and right. What's different when he doesn't have it? Of course, you're accustomed to doing it. It's kind of like one of those habits, and then you're in a losing streak and you can't do what's most common or what's comfortable for you.
Hit down the left field line and out of play.
Power versus power right there.
Last 3 years, always has been a slow starter, but then usually picks it up. This year, though, the average career low, the OPS a career low as well.
So a 3-2 pitch here. That isn't as quick as we've seen in other years, but change it. I like this idea.
3-2 is a broken bat and a foul ball.
Quick on it and comes in there and shatters the bat. Get a young pitcher that throws 3-2 changeups. All of a sudden, hitters have newfound respect, and they go, uh-oh, that's a guessing game. Fastball away.
Got him. Struck him out. 99 on the gun from Alex Reyes.
It's just nice, easy explosion. A lot of today's pitchers don't use their legs very much, but Reyes does, and that's where a lot of that velocity comes from.
He's hit 100. The low has been 78, the speed range for Reyes. '70s will be the curveball, but you know he still has that 10, 11 mile an hour variance in his fastball and changeup. Here's Polanco with 2 hits tonight, single and a double. Picked up an RBI back in inning number 1. Curveball, strike 1. Good ahead curveball, but how do you go up there and think of that? You know, I mean, you're geared for that 100 mile an hour plus, and he throws a bender at you. 0-1 pitch to Polanco. Change up there. This will be pitch number 40 for Reyes, who came in with 1 out, runner at second, back in the 5th. Here's a 1-1. Went with the changeup. Now you really got him thinking. Yeah, you know, and you could just see how very little difference in his release point, so it really sells it. See how it looked like he's going to amp up and explode the ball there, and it's a changeup. Another changeup. Here's a 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Even if the hitter is looking for a 100 mile an hour fastball, you still got to catch it. Fastball in. A little leery of going fastballs in when it cost you a ball game. Changeup. Got him. Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks, and that's 4 tonight for Reyes. Struck out McCutchen, then gets Polanco. Filthy. 3-3 our score. First pitch was tapped foul off the bat of Yadier Molina. So aggressive early in counts. He was the first hitter that Williams saw in relief of Taillon back in the 6th. We're in the 8th of a tie game, 3-3, no balls, 1 strike. Molina has reached on an error, struck out, and bounced into a double play.
Williams doing a nice job. He's in his 3rd inning of work. Just allowed an unearned run to tie this ball game in the 6th.
The 2-1. Molina hits it down the left field line, and that ball is fair. Into the corner. And Yadi on his way to second base. And the go-ahead run now in scoring position with nobody out.
That's a 8-game hitting streak now for Yadi. He's got the doubles aplenty. Breaking ball, and boy, look at him. Stays down on this ball and just rifles it just inside fair territory down the left field line. Goes down into the corner. Glides in with that double. Hopefully he can trot on home with Moss breaking out of his 0 for road trip. Time to get a home run. He's due, isn't he?
Yes, sir. Struck out, flied out, grounded out. First pitch to Moss. You know, last night you watched Matt Bowman. He was pressing on the mound. Many times you see that with a hitter too. That may be the case here with Moss.
0 for 25 on the road trip.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Moss.
Dan, you know, one swing. He's got 25 home runs on the year. His 4th season where 20 or more home runs. On to tie his good buddy Jerko for the team lead.
The 1-1. Ooh, good cut on the breaking ball. 1-2. MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in high definition on over more than 400 supported devices and enjoy a free subscription to At Bat Premium.
Moss 3rd in the National League with slugging percentage with a runner in scoring position.
Moss pulls it just foul. Roberto Clemente Day around Major League Baseball. We showed you earlier. If you just joined us, they've cut that number 21 into the grass in right field.
Wall there here in right field in PNC Park's 21 feet high in honor of Clemente.
2-2. Inside.
This pitch, Dan.
There you go. 3-2. Runner at second, Yadier Molina. Major League debut for Williams. The big pitch in this game right here. The 3-2 to Moss. Got him.
Looks like he swings at ball 4, but he's expecting the ball to be in his wheelhouse, and his struggles continue.
Grichuk hit by a pitch, scored in the 2nd, infield hit in the 4th, and muscled a single to center to score Molina to tie this game. Can he come through again?
I say game-winning RBI last night.
First pitch to Grichuk. Foul ball.
Sometimes we've seen that. The ball fouled, pops up, and knocks a helmet or hit a guy in the face. I guess the bill of the cap.
Hits his foot, and the ball comes up and at the bill of the batting helmet.
That got his shoulder. Should get at least 3 bases.
There you go. New rule.
New rule. Right. What do you mean?
Here's the 0-1. Grichuk hits it softly to short. Mercer makes the play, and there's 2 down.
Good base running by Yachty there, as he knew the ball was hit slow enough that he could advance. Never know. Wild pitch, pass ball, just an RBI base hit by Peralta.
He doubled to right, picked up an RBI in the second, base hit to center, and then struck out in the 6th. A scoring opportunity would come up. The Cardinals do have a right-hander up in the bullpen. They are 2 spots away from Alex Reyes. First pitch is a ball to Peralta.
It's Broxton. We're so far away that even with glasses, that usually that top of the padding blocks their number or their face, and you can't really see. But you can see Broxton.
Oh, yeah. One ball and 1 strike. Outfield, for the most part, straight away. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. 2-2. Williams has had the Cardinals out in front a number of times.
His major league debut, he was 2nd round pick by the Marlins out of Arizona State, and then was involved in a trade for pitcher Richard Mitchell. That was October 24th last year.
The 2-2 pitch to Peralta. Got him. Struck him out. Cardinals waste a leadoff double by Yadier Molina.
struggled. They lost all 3 games. They struck out 37 times in those first 3. But they came back. The last series here in Pittsburgh, they swept. They've won the first 2 games of this series, scoring a ton of runs, much better pitching. And you look at the first 15 games, it's just 1 game separated. Cardinals need this victory here to have another sweep. They also would be 8-8 on the season with another series in St. Louis to end the 2016 regular season.
Breaking ball to Jung Ho Kang, and we're underway here in the home half of the 8th. RBI infield hit back in the first, single to left, and also grounded out to short. He was the first hitter that Reyes saw back in inning number 5.
It shows you how efficient he's been because, as you said, just 1 hit allowed, 1 base run allowed. There's a double by Frazier. 4 strikeouts, no walks for Reyes.
Pulled foul, so it's now 1-2. It's Tony Watson after the tough outing last night. One way or another, looks like he's coming in for the 9th.
You dream to get back out there.
And it's well hit into left center. This ball is gone.
Get done out. 3 for 4 tonight, and a pair of home runs last night.
Well, I said it earlier with Jung Ho Kang. He can flat out hit a fastball.
Yeah. You know, he's got enough experience in Asia that you go up there and say, I'll just take a shot and I'll get that fastball, speed up my bat a little bit and see what happens. Jaso pitch hit. Reyes is young, but he's given up enough of those to know what happens. Got up on top of it, high fastball too. Hey, battle back.
First home run he's allowed in his big league career.
And you know what, Dan? He's going to have a long enough one. He'll give up a whole bunch of them, but he'll get a whole bunch of outs before him.
So Jaso, your pinch hitter. For Matt Joyce. Think about the top of this inning, leadoff double by Molina, and the inability to move him over to third to give the Cardinals a chance to take the lead. By the time he got there, there were 2 outs.
Well, you know, you just got to put your chins up and
slowly hit, diving stop by Reyes from a knee, makes the play.
Both of them from a knee. Had a little more time, and nice play by Adams to get the low throw. So a little swinging bunt, a little nice play, but
that gets by him. That's a base hit.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And nice job to stop it, make the throw, and Adams, expecting a chest-high throw, gets one down around his ankles, and nice job by the big city to corral that one. Make this a 1-run ball game, you're going to win it.
Cervelli, 1 out, nobody on. One ball and 1 strike. We didn't like that call. That changeup. Cervelli missed that by a foot.
Yeah, he did. She might have been still barking about the first called strike, and then you let it affect the rest of your bat. Good hitters can put that aside and say, all I need is one.
1-2 pitch, and struck him out. Cervelli, again, words with the home plate umpire.
Looks like he has legitimate complaint. Dan, there was times where I had a lead and I hated to see one of my teammates arguing with the home plate umpire. And you just say, wait a minute, we're okay, we're okay. I can take care of this. Don't get him mad and where he'll take it out on myself or the pitcher.
Human nature, it takes
Yeah,
over.
It really does. On both sides.
Yeah. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But I thought, during my era, you could talk to umpires. You could ask them, where was that pitch? Was it high? Was it inside out? What, why would you call that a ball? And they would grant you that without ripping off the mask and threatening you. They have a very difficult job, but everybody's trying to do their job. Get along.
Cardinals will have Garcia, pitcher spot, Carpenter coming up. Fastball at 99, taken high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be retransmitted or reproduced in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Three and 2 the count. Change up and struck him out. Strikes out this side. Gives up the home run. 5 strikeouts for Reyes. Last night, Tony Watson. It all took just 9 pitches for 3 home runs and a dramatic win for the Cardinals. Does history happen again? We'll find out. Again, Tony Watson in this game. Tommy Pham, Jed Jerko, and Matt Carpenter due up for the Cardinals. 4-3 our score. First pitch to Pham. And a strike.
Improbable last night, as you see. 10 out of 15, but 10 out of 13 saves since taking over the closer role.
0-2 the count. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 home runs allowed at 19 pitches for Tony Watson.
What, he had thrown 3 home run balls all season long and had all that damage in the space of 9 pitches. Cardinal pitch hitters have been outstanding. 67 for 193, 15 home runs, 43 RBIs. 15 home runs, a major league record. Somehow, some way, get on base. Put that doubt in the fans and Watson's mind.
The 2-2. 3-2. Fans a little bit restless.
Get on a walk or home run.
3-2 pitch. Pham popped up near the seats, and the catch is made by Harrison. Budweiser, what's on tap? Jaime Garcia. Note the start time, 6:15 with our first pitch. 5:30. We'll come on the air with the pregame show. Back home in St. Louis, first of 4 against the Brewers. Here's Jed Jerko, team leader in home runs with 26.
4 of his 7 hits on this trip have been home runs. Fourteen of his 26 home runs have tied or given the St. Louis a lead. 11 home runs in the 7th inning or later. Tops in the National League. Jerko 19 home runs since the All-Star break.
Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. You will see that matchup from last night. Carpenter is on deck. The 2-1 pitch. Jerko with a fly ball. Out to left. 2 down.
Good through the first 2 outs of the 9th inning last night, and then Carpenter came up and was behind the count 0-2 before heroics went the Cardinals' way.
Isn't this something? Same matchup from last night. Carpenter fell behind 0-2 before he popped that home run. Carpenter, the first pitch with a fly ball into right. This should do it. Catch is made. And the Pirates salvage a game in this series. They hold on 4-3.
Hard-fought game right here. They break their losing streak. A lot of fireworks here, but the Cardinals are going home after a long, long, tough trip.
Our player of the game, Jung Ho Kang, 2 for 3, solo home run in the 8th. Big series with 3 homers. He had 2 last night. Finishes 6 for 10 with 5 RBIs. So it's back home for the Cardinals. 5:30 pregame show tomorrow night. Still seats remain. Come on down to the ballpark as well. 4-3 the final. Postgame show is next.